Hi everyone. So in my other class, we made this outline that I thought might be helpful for you guys going into the critical thinking reflection journal. So remember that it is a journal that is 3 paragraphs long is the requirement. And I'm thinking about looking at the prompt. I'm going to pull it up. And as I'm looking at the prompt, I'm thinking to myself, it does ask me to do 3 things. So since I am a good critical thinker, I'm going to go into the assignments. Since I'm a good critical thinker, the most logical thing that I can do in my mind is break down each of those prompt requirements into a paragraph of its own. So when we pull up this assignment, it is the critical thinking reflection journal that you guys are going to be working on. And it asks here in the prompt, says to write 1 to 3 paragraphs. The first sentence says using analytical thinking, which is what you've already done to create your personal narrative. Identify how you broke down the goal of creating the 2 to 3 page personal narrative essay and discuss how you broke it down into smaller, more manageable tasks by following the writing process. We did that all together. What resources and or tools helped you to complete each of these smaller tasks? And using introspection, explain at least 1 helpful tool or resource that you will continue to use on your next assignment. Okay, so this prompt is asking us to do 3 things. We have 3 paragraphs to do it. Let's be smart. Let's break it down into 3 paragraphs. So you guys have gone through the outlining process, so you know that each Roman numeral should be a paragraph. So all of the details listed here go into this paragraph. Everything and all the details here will go into this paragraph. All the details here will go into this paragraph. And right here, this is the explanation of what you're going to do, your main task in each paragraph. And this is breaking it down following those 3 tasks that you were asked to do in the prompt. For you, now you just need to pick and choose the details that apply and write them out as complete sentences. So what we're looking at here in the first paragraph is the prompt asks you to explain how you broke down the personal narrative essay using the writing process. Well, we did this in class. We brainstormed on discussion boards, we wrote a thesis, we wrote outlines, and we wrote a first draft. So you guys are going to take this and you're going to turn it into a paragraph. In class, we had different assignments due as we worked our way through the writing process. So this writing process is the same thing that we talked about, and that I included in the announcement is a list of the different stages that we've basically been doing the whole time in class. We started by brainstorming and doing some planning. Then we wrote a thesis, and then we did some outlining and some drafting. Those are the basic stages. Planning, outlining, well, I guess brainstorming first. Brainstorming, planning, and outlining kind of go together, and then drafting. Those are the basic stages of the writing process. You get your ideas out, you organize them, and then you write a draft. So I'm going to say in class we had different assignments due as we worked our way through the writing process. And I'm going to say first, brainstormed. And you can describe what exactly we brainstormed. Personal experiences, critical thinking. We brainstormed about our personal experiences and critical thinking skills on the discussion boards. So we had one in 011 and we had one in 101. So we had 2 discussion boards to brainstorm about this. Then we could say next, started planning by writing thesis statement. Getting real fancy. Here you could mention, like if you got a video feedback, you could say and got video feedback on it. You could be specific. And that's a basic breakdown of what we did. So you put it in your own words, you explain that this is what we did, and that's your first paragraph. In your second paragraph, you're going to explain what specific resources and tools you use. So notice how there's question marks after all of these. That's because these are suggestions. You can come up with more of your own. You can pick out the 4 or 5 that you used, or the 3 or 4 you used, and explain these specific resources and tools that you used to help you in this process. Then for the third paragraph, you're going to pick maybe 1 or 2, at max 3 of these that you mentioned up here that helped you the most that you plan on incorporating in Unit 2. So you can start it with something like, in Unit 2, I plan to read the assignment details every time because it was very helpful for me in Unit 1. I also am going to come to Zoom class every time because I missed a few. That one actually doesn't apply to you guys, I realize, because you guys, let me switch it up a little bit. You guys are not required to come to Zoom class. But maybe, you checked in with me on Zoom, as a couple of you have done. So maybe your plan is like, or maybe you haven't and you wished you had. You can say in your plan, next unit, in Unit 2, I'm going to meet with the instructor on Zoom twice, or like once before I turn in my paper, or something like that. So you're explaining here in this third paragraph what you learned that you're going to carry into the next assignment. So that's the basic breakdown of what to put in each of these 3 paragraphs that you'll be writing. It doesn't need a title page. You do want to proofread it and make sure it's in good formal academic English, but you don't need to worry about putting a title page or anything like that. It's just going to be 3 simple paragraphs. And this is what they should cover.